All right, head coach Mike Collins, go ahead and introduce who you have with you here today.
I have with me today Emily and Falk, both from our indoor and outdoor track and field teams. Emily also runs cross country for us in the fall. Falk is one of my seniors who's been around, also one of our international students from Germany, and I try to pronounce his last name, but I mess it up every time, so I don't do that anymore. They'll be able to visit some with kind of their perspective on where we're at with the season. I know for us, we're excited. We're kind of what I would consider about halfway through our indoor season. We honestly don't put a ton of emphasis on the indoor season just because it's so short. So anything that we do accomplish throughout the indoor season is kind of a bonus for us that gives us a little bit of a catapult into the outdoor season as we head into spring as temperatures start to rise. But at this point, pretty excited about where things are at. We've only had a couple of meets. I think our two bigger, more important meets are coming up, one this weekend at WSU, and then we go down to Boise for our last indoor meet of the season prior to the indoor championships. Challenging for us at times with weather to train and prepare for an indoor season without indoor facilities, but fortunately for us, our weather here is usually pretty accommodating other than some periods of time here or there where it's maybe a little colder than we like working out outside. But right now, I think things are going really well. We've got some qualifiers on both the men's and women's side with really our two meets where we tend to see more people qualify coming. We have on the women's side, at least currently, Jenny's in the heptathlon has qualified as a top 16 participant. That could easily change just because as more pentathlons are competed, that she might move down the list. But she's also competing this weekend, hopefully to move her way up a little bit higher. And then Rebecca's also qualified in the women's 800, and I think is currently ranked third. We've got a number of 800-meter girls, and Emily is one of those that have, I think, individual chances to qualify, as well as some relays, including a 4x8 maybe, a DMR maybe, a 4x4 team potentially as well, and then a number of other individuals that could also qualify. And then we've also got one field athlete on the women's side that's qualified too in Madison who's hit the A standard, so she's in the pole vault, and she actually did that last December, which is kind of nice in some ways, although you take chances that people get hurt and other things between then and the holidays and when the championships actually come. So men's side pretty similar. When it comes to events, we've got a couple of people that have qualified, or at least tentatively qualified, depending on their rankings. But a lot of upside, I think, as we get to the indoor championships. I think the most we've ever taken to indoors has been 13 or 14 kids, if you count the relays. So right now we've only got, whatever it is, 3, 4, 5 people that are actually in. But I think we're going to get some relays in, and then hopefully a few more individual events as well. Rankings are kind of interesting in track and field because they're power rankings, so it's kind of based on where you're at right now. And a lot of teams haven't competed yet, so we're going to probably slide down the scale on a few things as the volume of athletes compete go up. But we're also, hopefully, we'll see some quality efforts come in. I think the power rankings are interesting because they really don't reflect scoring, which when you go to nationals and they figure out your final rankings, it's based off of how you actually score. So it's like, well, you might be 10th in the country and it's worth, in the power rankings, worth 2 points, but in a national meet, it's worth nothing. So it makes that part of it interesting. But we're excited. I think our outdoor season looks really, really good, and I think we're this is probably the most competitive track team that we've had. We've got an awful lot of very talented young people and young people pushing each other, and Coach Hall, I think, has done a great job in recruiting some talented young people that are going to contribute right away as first and second year people. So I don't know what you guys think, but
as Coach Collins just said, the focus is more on the outdoor season. So, for example, we will sometimes, as we say, like train through a meet. We will not necessarily we will try to hit the biggest performance, but we will not alter our practice for those meets, and that will happen more when we come towards outdoor season. So right now we are more still trying to build towards that, and with that in mind, I think we are actually already in a pretty good on the spot. We already have some pretty good performances, and with a little transition from more strength towards now power and speed, I think we're gonna see some pretty big leaps in performance here pretty soon.
And I'd have to agree with both of them. It's from the women's side and from the distance side, I think it's going to go really well. And the big emphasis, as Coach and Paul have said, are both are on the outdoor season, and indoor season is just here for us to kind of use as training and a guideline.
Not that we push away national
Not that
champions.
we push it away or anything, but it's a really good season to see kind of where we're at and kind of look forward to what's going to be happening here in the near future.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.